Hello, everyone. I'm Jay Cottrell, the Global Marketing Communications Manager here at LaserCheck. Every Tuesday around 2 p.m. Mountain Time, I go live with an employee or a subject matter expert about solving problems in traffic safety or professional measurement. You can join us on your coffee break. We are live for about 15 minutes. We also live tweet this, so if Twitter is more your style, you can join us there. If you have questions or comments for our guests or for LaserCheck, please post them, and we'll answer them either in real time or as a subject of another LTI Tuesday at 2 conversation. Today, I have Nick Ackerson joining me. Hi, Nick. Thanks for coming.
Hi there, Jay.
Nick, how long have you been with LTI, and what exactly is your job title?
I've been with Laser Technology Inc. for going on 10 years now. With the company about 3 or 4 years, as well as the traffic safety product manager, so probably a combined 14. And I'm the director of North American sales currently.
And how long have you been director of North American sales?
I lost audio.
Oh no. So let me know when you get audio back.
I got it.
Great. How long have you been director of North American sales?
I've been the director of North American sales for going on 2 years now, and previous to that, I was the director of marketing for LaserCheck.
Great. And what have you found the most interesting about your job so far?
I would say the clientele is probably the most interesting. You know, it's definitely a unique bunch of people. And I especially like the fact that I get to work in a multi-discipline type of environment. We've got the professional measurement side of the business, which I work in, as well as the law enforcement and the traffic safety side.
Okay. So one of the things that we say often is that LTI builds products to create a safer world. So how does laser measurement promote safety?
Well, there's a couple of different things there. If you're talking about from the professional measurement side of things, our equipment and our instruments really help end users be more productive, but more importantly, safer, because they're able to obtain the data sets and the points that they need to get in an unsafe environment. So from that perspective, there definitely is a safety aspect to it. Now on the traffic safety and the law enforcement side, of course, we make the instruments for speed enforcement. So officers are taking dangerous drivers off the road by utilizing our equipment out there. So thus creating a safer environment on all of our highways, roadways, and in our communities.
Right. Which is, it's important. How has traffic been impacted with the COVID pandemic?
Yeah, that's an interesting question, Jay. We've been monitoring that quite closely. In some cases, you see an uptick in accidents, and you see a increased rate of speeding, in part because people think that the police are on vacation during the whole pandemic, which they are clearly not. So they are taking a good number of speeders and dangerous drivers off of the roadways during the pandemic. But on the other side, in some parts of the country, you'll see accidents, fatal accidents, and speeding on the decline. So it's just different pockets, and it depends on where you look and who you talk to. You can get differing opinions on that.
That's interesting. I know we had someone on a few weeks ago who said that congestion saves lives because people have to slow down when there's more cars on the road. So it's interesting to know that different pockets of the country do different things.
Yeah, it's also interesting to think about. There are less cars on the road, but when you look at the unawareness of the motorists thinking that the police aren't going to be out there enforcing speed, you have more dangerous driving. You have less cars, but more people are driving outside of the posted speed limits and dangerously, quite frankly. So you see more accidents, more fatalities.
That's pretty scary. Yeah. So I'm glad that our products are helping get some dangerous drivers off the road and reminding everybody to be safe. Do you have a favorite product? You said we have multidisciplinary people to talk to with professional measurement and with traffic safety. So do you have a favorite product?
Yeah, I do. I'm kind of partial to our True Vision. That's our latest LiDAR that's out there on the market today. It is a combination of a speed enforcement tool as well as a video and photographic evidence recorder, basically. So it kind of gives the officer a full spectrum of things to enforce, such as speed enforcement. They can look at distracted driving. It's got a feature set included in it called DVC, so they can measure the distance between two cars. In some states, in some counties, in some areas, there are certain rules that you can be ticketed if you are following too close. So that is our most sophisticated LiDAR, and thus being my favorite.
It is definitely one that's power-packed. It's got just about everything but the kitchen sink in it. I know that the Georgia State Patrol has used it to good effect in reducing their fatalities, especially with commercial motor vehicles. Do you have any other states that have done something similar?
Yeah, there's a few. There's some interest in a number of different places across the U.S., and Georgia definitely had a pretty profound, strong message that they came out with. They've got virtually all of their commercial motor vehicle enforcement troopers with a True Vision, and they strictly do the enforcement of commercial motor vehicles. And as you know, a commercial motor vehicle is an 80,000-pound truck and semi that are held to different regulations and laws out there on the road. So I'm sure you can imagine that an 80,000-pound semi barreling down the highway and striking some unsuspecting motorists because he was, either over his hours driving, wasn't paying attention, lost brakes, whatever the case may be. That type of fatality that's involved with a car and a semi are particularly horrendous. Georgia's done a really, really good job at turning that statistic, quote unquote, around. They made it very, very personal to themselves. They had, they took a very personal stance on getting dangerous drivers off the road when it comes to a commercial motor vehicle. There was all kinds of increases and people losing their lives over this, and they really found it prudent to take a stand and give the troopers the right equipment that they needed to make a difference out there on the roadways, and they did in large part.
That's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Does LaserCheck offer any other tools for monitoring distracted driving or speeding?
Yeah, there's a couple of different things. One being the True Vision, obviously, it gives you that photographic evidence. You can catch someone, either looking down on their phone or maybe looking around or something, just being distracted. We've also got our more traditional type of handheld LiDARs like the True Speed and LR, as well as the True Speed S. The True Speed S can be outfitted with a app for the iPhone or the Android device, and you attach it to a bracket and you connect it with the laser, and then you kind of have what we call a poor man's True Vision. It basically takes a video as well as a photo of the violator. So a couple of different ways we can collect that evidence.
Right. I know that a new product or a refreshed product that has just been released is SpeedStat. How does that help law enforcement officers or anyone who's interested in highway safety?
Yeah, that's an interesting question, Jay. We work with a lot of the highway safety offices across the country, and what they have in those establishments are law enforcement liaisons, and they kind of consult with the state agency, the highway patrol or the state patrol, on roadway violations, and they recommend instruments and equipment that will help the troopers enforce those laws out there. So it's very, very interesting that these people work with law enforcement, with the state agency, and recommend all of these products. And a good example of that was Georgia working with their law enforcement liaison officer. So did that answer your question?
Well, I was asking about SpeedStat, so...
Yeah. So with respect to SpeedStat and the Highway Safety Office, SpeedStat is a utility that allows people to record different speeds of different violators. So what they can do with that data when they analyze it is pick out different pockets of problem areas. So when the chief or the sergeant or the commander goes through a traffic debriefing in the morning, he's able to better tell, hey, he's able to, deploy his resources much more productively, if you will, out there in the highways and the communities, and really focus on the problem areas where people are speeding.
That's pretty intelligent to be able to be more strategic with your resources and knowing where to go and use your people wisely. I think that's pretty great. What would you say sets LTI products apart from other similar tools that might be on the market?
Well, I think laser technology as a business, we were really the pioneers in law enforcement speed LiDAR. Over 30 years ago, we created the first law enforcement LiDAR for speed enforcement. So we were really the pioneers and the inventors of that technology, and it's only gotten better as the years have gone by. We've become more innovative in a lot of things, like we came out with the True Vision. That's the most sophisticated product there on the market. And we really pride ourselves on the service and support that we provide our customers. We've had very, very long tenured customers, to the tune of over 20 years that stick with LTI just because of the company that we are, and the service and support that we're able to provide them. For instance, we also use the lasers for crash reconstruction. You can pick up the phone and call one of our reps at 2 or 3 a.m. in the morning if you're stuck on a fatal scene and you're mapping it and something goes wrong with the equipment. We're really there for our end users at any part of the day.
I do know that many of our people do take calls just about any time of the day or night, just because we are invested in helping everyone get their job done and done well, and keeping everyone safe as well, I think that's unique among most companies.
It's pretty unique that you pick up the phone and you call and you do actually get a human being on the phone.
Right.
I'm finding it more rare these days, so it really gives them a sense of comfort that, when we sell you a product, we're there to stand by it, from soup to nuts.
Right, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I have 2 questions left for you. So the first one is a serious one. Is there an aspect of safety that you are most passionate about?
I think safety as a whole out there, I think everybody at LTI really has a profound passion and a profound interest in what we do as a business. We save lives one measurement at a time. That's our motto. So, safety as a whole is obviously important to us. If I can prevent, or if I can put in the hands of an officer a tool that's going to allow him to take someone off the road that might otherwise hurt my daughter, my wife, family member, anybody for that matter. That's what that's what really gets me up in the morning and makes me go to work, is thinking about that what we do really, really matters out there. We're an essential business. But a certain aspect of safety, I would say it's the fatality aspect of it. I don't think anybody should lose their life, in the snap of a finger because, someone was, driving irresponsibly out there. And, with technology, becoming what it is, it's only going to get worse. Preventing fatals, because we do make the instruments that help with that sort of thing, is really what I'm passionate about.
Right. Well, our equipment also helps keep the officers safe too, because they don't have to be right on the road. They can set up anywhere they want to in order to be able to do their job. So that helps.
Virtually, yes.
Yeah, it helps not only get dangerous drivers off the road, but it protects the officers as well, which is one thing that I find very important to us. And my last question is, because Vinny will ask me why I didn't ask you. He wants to know what your favorite pizza topping is.
My favorite pizza topping? I can only pick one?
Well, you can pick a bunch.
I would have to say pepperoni. my go-to
Just
topping
angry,
for pizza.
usually like a lot of
Okay.
negative
That's
energy.
pretty
and
awesome.
Just kind of
So,
Yeah.
freak out a little bit, and usually get mad at the other person, or just kind of go from 0 to 60.
there we go. We have some crosstalk there. So, is there anything else that we should know about our products or
That
about the
was more
LaserCheck
kind of
brand?
like just a run.
I think as far as the LaserCheck brand, what I did want to end with was just a huge thank you to all those first responders out there that that use our equipment, that love our equipment, and that our equipment helps them, like you said, be safer and take these dangerous people off the roads. Even during this pandemic, there's nothing changed with traffic safety and enforcement out there.
No,
But,
it's
from a law enforcement perspective, they're continuously at it. So a huge thank you out to those men and women. And on the professional measurement side as well, our customers, our premier authorized dealers, all of our end users, they're still out there and using our products. They're still trying to get out there and do their jobs on a daily basis, and our instruments help them with that. Just a thank you to both sides, all the end users and all the men and women of law enforcement out there. We really, really appreciate what you do, and we appreciate you being customers of ours.
Well, thanks for joining me today, Nick. I want to thank everyone who stopped by and spent some time with us today. If there are any questions posted here on the recording, we will pass those along to Nick or anyone in our company who would be able to answer that. Looking ahead next week, I have a surprise guest, and I'm not going to talk about who it is until next week, but we will be on live again next week, July 21st at 2 o'clock, so we'll see you then.